A very good evening. This is Avinindra Som, and you're listening to the news roundup on Gold FM. The Israeli military confirms it is targeting what it calls terror regime infrastructure and has successfully assassinated several high-ranking officials, including the Iranian Deputy Minister of Intelligence, Saeed Yaha Hamidi, and the head of the regime's espionage division, Jalalpur Hossein. In Tehran and nearby Karaj, reports emerge of a heavy security presence and a total internet blackout as the Iranian Red Crescent Society claims the death toll across the country has reached 555 people. The conflict also reignited a secondary front in Lebanon following a major rocket barrage fired by the Hezbollah into Israel. The Israeli military responded with a precision strike in Beirut that killed the head of Hezbollah's intelligence headquarters, Hussein Makled. In a move of unprecedented defiance against the militant group, Lebanese Prime Minister Nawaz Salam officially banned Hezbollah's armed activities throughout the country, stating that the group's unsanctioned attacks have violated Lebanese sovereignty and risked a devastating all-out war. The Qatar giant confirmed its facilities at Ras Laffan and Mesaidid was also targeted in Iranian attacks. Now, in a significant military error, the United States Central Command confirms that 3 American F-15E Strike Eagle jets were mistakenly shot down by Kuwaiti Air Defense during ongoing operations. All 6 crew members ejected safely and are in stable condition. Move to a comprehensive analysis of the escalating conflict between the US and Israeli alliances by Professor Rohan Gunaratne of the Nanyang Technological University. He warns that the transition from a regional threat to a global disruptor has occurred, from attempting to choke the world's most vital shipping lanes to recruiting terror cells inside South Asian prisons. Professor Gunaratne explains how the Ayatollah's attempt to blackmail the international community by attacking Arab neighbors has failed, leading to a new coalition against Tehran.
It is certainly fighting Israel, certainly fighting the US, but after Israel, the largest number of strikes are on those countries. So there's a lot of pressure that is being put on those countries because Iran wants to inflict severe pain on those countries so that those countries will ask the Americans and the Israelis to stop the campaign. But it has backfired, and today all those countries have united against Iran, and Iran has lost the support from those countries, and all those countries are openly or discreetly supporting the US and Israel in the fight against Iran.
He also went on to explain the economic implications of the conflict, highlighting the US military's role in preventing a global trade collapse by keeping international waters open.
The Ayatollah regime threatened to close the Straits of Hormuz in the lead up to the war, and yesterday they started to close the Straits of Hormuz. And when that happened, President Trump ordered the Navy, the US Navy and the US Air Force to take decisive action. And half a dozen Iranian ships were sunk and their naval bases were attacked. So US preempted Iranian blocking of the Straits of Hormuz. The Straits of Hormuz doesn't belong to any one country. It's a common strait, and it should not be blocked by any party. It should be kept open because that is vital for global trade and shipping. So what the Americans did was right. They ensured that the Strait of Hormuz is kept open.
Professor Gunaratne went on to give a chilling look at how the IRGC's global proxy program reached Sri Lanka using local prisons as recruitment grounds for attacks on tourists and a diplomatic mission.
It also attempted to assassinate President Trump. A man called Farhad Shakiri, who is IRGC agent, planned operation to kill President Trump. The same Farhad Shakiri recruited, because he was in Sri Lankan prison for a short period of time, he recruited Maldivian national to attack Arugam Bay and to attack the Israeli consulate in Colombo. So I believe that if any country is sponsoring and supporting terrorism, that country, the regime should change, because it's the global threat. Iran will have a very stable government soon, and the Iranian regime that has engaged in building fissile programs, meaning nuclear programs, missile programs, that has attacked now the countries in the Gulf and a few other countries in the Middle East, and also Iran's proxy program to support terrorism will come to an end.
This is the local news on Gold FM.
Sri Lanka, in the meantime, suspended 125 scheduled flights to the Middle East until midnight as regional tensions escalated. 4 aircrafts from Gulf Air, Air Arabia, Fly Dubai and Qatar Airways remained grounded at Bandar Naik International Airport, unable to return to their home bases. Civil Aviation Authority Director General Captain Daminda Rambukwalle confirms the disruptions while the government explores rerouting European passengers through Turkey to avoid Middle Eastern transit hubs. In the meantime, Minister Anurkarna Tilaka advised exporters to halt the transport of tea and other goods to Colombo port intended for Middle Eastern markets. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs issued safety instructions to embassies across the region to ensure the protection of over 1 million Sri Lankan expatriates. In the United Arab Emirates, reports emerged of 58 individuals suffering minor injuries following Iranian strikes. The Association of Fuel Station Owners announced all filling stations will receive fuel stocks by tomorrow morning. Chairman Kumara Rajapaksa told a press briefing in Colombo that the corporation initiated fuel releases on a credit basis today due to the bank holiday. Petroleum Corporation Chairman DJ Rajakarna stated over 2.9 million litres of diesel entered the market this morning alone. President Anura Kumara Dissanayake issued an extraordinary gazette notification extending the state of public emergency effective from the 28th. A separate directive classified several sectors as essential services including electricity, fuel, health, transport and water supply.
Now for some news in brief.
Police issued an advisory urging students, parents and alumni attending annual inter-school cricket tournaments to maintain discipline, ensure safety and respect public order during the events, which draw large crowds and celebrate school pride.
The business news on Gold FM.
Global oil prices soared as Iran continued strikes across the Middle East in response to attacks by the US and Israel. Brent crude jumped 19% to $79 and 45 cents following attacks on 3 ships near the Strait of Hormuz.
International news on Gold FM.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed that a new round of US-brokered peace talks with Russia remains on the schedule for this week. Despite weekend strikes on Iran by US and Israeli forces, the Ukrainian leader stated that the negotiations have not been cancelled.
Entertainment news on Gold FM.
A long-lost 1633 painting by Rembrandt, Vision of Zacharias in the Temple, has been rediscovered and authenticated after decades out of sight. The work, removed from the artist's catalogue in 1970 and sold to a private collector, resurfaced when its owners brought it to the Rijksmuseum for examination.
Sports news on Gold FM.
India secured a 5-wicket victory against the West Indies last evening in a high-scoring Super 8 encounter at Eden Gardens. The semi-finals are accordingly now set to begin on the 4th, with New Zealand taking on South Africa on the 5th and England facing India. The winners of these matches will advance to the final, which will be held on March 8th in Ahmedabad. And that's all the news for today. This is Avinindra Soma for Gold FM News.